Boy, do I have some life updates for you. I have had the craziest last couple of months. I haven't recorded an episode in about 4 weeks, which is fine because I did bulk record my first 7 or 8 episodes. But we're back. We're back in the swing of things. It's just been a little bit crazy. First life update. I passed my driving test. I am so excited. It's only taken 4 or 5 years. If you have listened to previous podcast episodes before this one, you would know that I started to learn to drive in a manual when I was 17, and I just couldn't really get the hang of it. It was not for me. I just kept getting really frustrated. I couldn't figure out parking. That was my thing that was really stressing me out, and clutch control while doing that. I was just no, not for me, not the right time to be doing this. Let's not, basically. Then I think when I left uni and I came back home, I might have picked it back up for a little bit. And again, I was I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And I feel like when you have the mindset, especially when it comes to driving, that you don't want to do it, it's really hard to persuade yourself to want to do it. I just didn't feel motivated to do it at all. I would come away from my lessons so frustrated, and I was I literally couldn't think of anything worse. I don't want to do it. I'm not interested in learning to drive at this current point in time. I'm just not going to do it. And then I met my lovely boyfriend last year, and he lives an hour, wow. We'll get into that. He lived an hour away from me, and I was do you know what? I really need to learn to drive because I can't expect him to just constantly come to my house. I need to be able to easily get to his. And the train, it's 3 changes on the train. It's an hour and 45 minutes. It's just not fun. And I was I think now's the time. But I didn't want to do it in a manual. So I started to learn in an automatic and got my driver's license. Thank Christ. I have a lovely little car. Her name is Daphne. She's older than me. She's 23 years old. She's had some issues, but that's okay because she's old. We can let her off, and she has been fixed, and she is working, and we love her. We love her. What an addition to the household. Speaking of additions to the household, this is what this episode is about. I am very excited to be talking about this. But if you're new around here, hi, welcome to Lowkey Adulting. I'm Mad. I'm your host. You can see me here every single Monday morning at 8 a.m. I'm here to help you start off your week right. I talk about anything, everything, anything goes, nothing is off limits. We have a great time here. Honestly, I'm loving doing this podcast. This is something that I've wanted to do for so long, and I feel like this is my 9th or 10th episode that I'm recording, and I'm just really, really loving it. It's such a great way for me to be able to talk about things in long form. Obviously I do TikTok and everything, but it's just a completely different vibe, and I really, really love it. You can listen on Apple, Spotify, you can watch on YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast, you can download the podcast there. I would personally recommend watching on YouTube, but that's just me. I'm also that girl that listens to podcasts on Apple, so I can't really talk, but go and subscribe on YouTube. It's great over there. But this episode is so exciting. I don't know how long it's going to be. I don't intend for it to be super, super long. In fact, none of my episodes really are. It's just a quick chat to get you through the Monday mornings. But we have a new addition to the household. We're not really new because he's been around for a while, but he has permanently moved into the house. He is officially a part of the Marshall household. My boyfriend Charlie has moved in. I honestly don't think that I have been happier. This last year has been the best year of my life, and it is definitely down to Charlie. I put it all down to him. He is insanely incredible. Definitely go and listen to our episode that we recorded because it was so sweet. I love that he really embraces all forms of social media. When I say to him oh, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? He's hell yeah. He's so incredible, and I'm so insanely happy with him. I also know that this is slightly unconventional because a lot of people would obviously just if they want to live with their boyfriend or their partner, whatever, they will just move out into a house or a flat. They would rent, but it's just not the way that we did it. Charlie obviously lived an hour away from me, and then in about April, May, he moved jobs and he moved to a place up in Surrey. It's about a half an hour drive from me. He had on-site accommodation. So he was staying there a couple of times a week, and then he was basically at mine like every other day. Usually it was like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then like one of the days at the weekend. So he was here a lot. On the days that I was in the office for work, I would go to him afterwards. So that was usually Tuesdays and Thursdays. So basically, we were seeing each other every single day, and we always spoke about how much we would love to live together. It just kind of felt like the natural next step. At first, we said about moving out together in September this year, and I hadn't passed my driving test, and it just didn't feel like the right time. And at that point, we'd been together like 9 months, so we hadn't been together like a super long amount of time, but we were far into our relationship that we knew that we were going to end up living together somewhere. Someplace down the line. But it was actually the day that I passed my driving test in October, and my dad sat me down and he was like, I need to talk to you. And I was like, oh God, what have I done? Did I load the dishwasher wrong? Did I forget to put the washing machine on? What did I do? Thinking that I'd done something wrong. I was like, don't dampen my mood, Stephen. I've just passed my driving test. Today is a positive and exciting day. He basically sat me down saying, Mum and I have been speaking and we think that he should move in. And obviously I was like, what? This is so exciting. And at the end of the day, he's here most of the time anyway. He was basically living here anyway, but now it's just like formal. He fits in to my household and my family so well. My parents and him get along so well. He gets along really well with my dad. My mum and him have so much banter. Although I have 2 older siblings, they are quite a lot older. So my middle sister is like 33. I think she's 33. And my older sister is like 35 or 36. So one of them lives in America and she has 2 kids. The other one is very happily married. You know, like I feel like I've had the best of both worlds with living as an only child, but also with siblings. So I primarily grew up living just with my parents. It was always just the 3 of us. So having Charlie here for like 3-4 days a week, I think was like a good test, if that makes sense, for like how the dynamic would be. Would it change the dynamic or anything like that? And it didn't. If anything, it just made it stronger. You know, when something just happens and it all feels right, like everything just fell into place. He's moved all of his stuff in. My room is now our room. Mi casa es su casa. What the hell? And having him here every single day is bloody brilliant. I love it so much. I love waking up in the morning and he's there. I love that. I don't miss like having a bed to myself at all. Even though he leaves my house at like 4:30 in the morning because of his job. 4:30. It's the middle of the night, but we're not going to talk about that. It's still nice that I get to see him every morning. Like honestly, it's the best feeling. And also this is my first relationship, so I've never experienced anything like this. I've never experienced love like this, and it's just so perfect. And also some things that like I didn't even really think about. It's like we've had to coordinate like my wardrobe and spaces for him to put his stuff. So I literally ripped out so many clothes from my wardrobe, chucked them in a black bin liner. I'm gonna go and give them to charity. I didn't also realise how much shit I had in my wardrobe. So there is now space for him in there. There's his stuff in my bathroom. I mean, like, he had stuff in my bathroom anyway from when, or our bathroom. He had stuff in there from when he was staying, like, just certain days during the week. But now, like, so much of his stuff is in there. And I just, like, love going downstairs and seeing his cereal in the cupboard. And there's juice that he drinks. And it's like, we really wanted to make this his home. We didn't want him to feel like a lodger or anything like that. And my parents have done a fantastic job of doing that. And I keep saying to Charlie, I'm like, are you happy? Do you like living here? Like, are you all right? Is everything going okay? And he's like, I love it so much. I think it also just didn't really feel like a huge change because he was here so much. Like, it just all happened very naturally, and it felt like the natural next step in our relationship. We obviously do want to move out. We talk about it all the time, but also I feel like this is a nice like middle section in our relationship, because we went from not living together to him staying here a few times a week. Now he's living here with me and my parents. I feel like if you can live with your partner whilst your parents are there, you can do anything. You can conquer the world. Before I was in a relationship, I would spend most of my time with my parents. Like, I was never really the sort of person that would come upstairs and like eat in here by myself, or spend the evening upstairs like on my own and they were downstairs. Like, we never really had that dynamic. And so I noticed that like when I first started seeing Charlie and he was spending time here, I feel like, because it's kind of that first stage of your relationship where you literally want to spend every single minute with each other. Like, I would spend a lot of time up here with him, which I'm not saying that that's an issue or anything, but I also love spending time with my family. So I feel like we both make like a conscious effort to go downstairs and eat with my parents. We watch TV with them. We spend a lot of time with them, but also spend a lot of time just the two of us. Like, we love going on little date days and date evenings and doing things on our own together. Oh my goodness, last night we went to Miller and Carter, which is the most incredible steakhouse in my local town. It's a chain, they're everywhere. I know there's one in Brighton. Would recommend if you have not been. Charlie had not been before. My family and I love it there. We usually go there like on birthdays or special occasions, but I said to Charlie a couple of days ago, I was like, do you want to go to Miller and Carter tomorrow? Like, do you want to go? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So we went to Miller and Carter for dinner last night. Charlie absolutely loved it. He said that it was the best steak that he's ever eaten. So I'm taking that as an absolute win. But I always really appreciate those moments with my family and his family just as much as I appreciate the moments that it's just the two of us. It's like everything just feels very right and very normal. He's slotted in very, very well into my house, our house, because he lives here. He lives here. Literally, one of my friends works in Miller and Carter, and we saw her last night, and she said to me, she was like, yeah, haven't you two like moved in? Like, he's moved in. I was like, yeah, he really has. He is in. He's in for good now. Can't get rid of him. Not that I want to, obviously. He's just like fits in so perfectly, and everything feels really, really nice, which I love. I also don't want to sound like soppy or like a simp or anything like that, but like, he's really cool. And if anyone has the chance to have him in their life, they are very, very lucky. Something else, I don't really feel like there's ever been like awkward moments between like me and Charlie and my family. My mum and I specifically are very open with each other. Everything, like nothing is off limits with my family in general. We are so close. So having that awkwardness of like, your boyfriend coming to stay for the night, like it was just never like that. And also my parents have got such good banter and they are so funny, and I feel like Charlie just like really slotted into that. Like, there was never any moment where I was like, oh god, I don't know if my parents like him, or I don't know if Charlie likes them. Like, there was just never that moment at all, which I feel like is like the perfect way for it to be. I'm very grateful that we didn't have any like awkward him sneaking up the stairs because I can't tell my parents that he's here. It was just so perfectly normal. The only thing that I can really think of is that I guess like in our house we just have like unspoken rules that Charlie's had to pick up, that I've had to like say to him. Like, my dad has such a huge thing about the way that the dishwasher is loaded, and he'll like constantly take the piss out of me and my mum for not doing it right. And I'm like, it's a dishwasher. If things fit in it, why does it matter where they go? But he's like, no, the big spaces are for the big plates, the little spaces are for the little plates. You can only put bowls on top. You can only put this here and this here. And I'm like, okay, you do it. I'm like, I'm not dealing with the stress of this. So I had to like teach Charlie how to load our dishwasher, which feels so stupid, but like it's always done in a funny way. Do you know what I mean? It was never like, you're loading the dishwasher wrong, let me show you how to do it. Everything is kind of made into a joke, which is nice, because again, it takes away that awkwardness. And because the last thing that I would ever want is for Charlie to move into this house and feel like he doesn't fit in and he's doing things wrong. Like, it's just never been like that. Another unspoken rule, which like We all just do. In our showers, we have like glass screens. And my mum always says that like if you don't wipe the water off, then it will stain the glass. So we have like these, we call them squeegees. I don't actually know if that's what they're called. The things that like you drag down the glass like to remove the water. Do you know what I'm talking about? Oh, do I sound stupid? I'm trying to think if we have any other like unspoken rules. I mean, like I've said to Charlie, I'm like, please can you close my wardrobe? Please can you close my wardrobe? Why is it open? Why are you leaving it open? And then now he's really good and he makes a point. He goes, you see what I did? Close the wardrobe. I'm like, very proud of you, my darling. But for the most part as well, like my parents are so easygoing. We don't have hard and fast rules. There are just kind of like unspoken things that we do that like makes sense in our house. Do you know what I mean? And Charlie's picked them up. He fits in great. I feel like that's all I keep saying. It's like, he slotted in so well. It's just because I'm very happy. Very, very happy with where everything is at the moment. And we were literally saying last night, we were like, if this is what living together alone is going to be like, we're going to have an absolute blast. It's going to be great. Also, my mum said, like, one of the conditions of him moving in is that you must cook together once a week. We're like, okay, we can do that. Have we done that since? We've done it like once or twice. Only because my mum's at home and she likes to cook. And it's sometimes just easier for her to cook. But we have cooked meals together. We've done pasta bakes. We did like a creamy salmon orzo, which was so good. Literally one of my favourite meals that we have done. We did like a deconstructed lasagna soup type thing. And that was really good. But we are trying to cook more. Charlie is a much better cook than he lets on. We both just like haven't really had experience in it. But when Charlie puts his mind to something, he can cook it really well. He's also that person where like if we're doing a chicken and chorizo pasta bake, he will cook the chicken because I don't trust myself to cook chicken. Or it's not that I don't trust myself. I'm just that person that's like, is that a bit of pink? Is that pink? Can I eat that? Have you cooked that properly? So he'll always cook the chicken for like 2 minutes extra just to be like, look, Mads, it's cooked. I can assure you it's cooked. Is anyone else like that? Surely it's not just me. And it's only with chicken. I don't have it with like beef or anything like that. But I guess it's because you can't eat chicken raw, but you can eat beef like when it's slightly undercooked. I don't know. I never really thought about it, but I just have an issue with chicken. Don't know. And if I wasn't in the kitchen, then it wouldn't even be something that came into my mind. Like I'd never question my mum. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not usually in the kitchen with her. If Charlie was just cooking on his own and I was sitting in the living room, I wouldn't even think about it. But it's because I'm standing out there with him and I'm watching him cook the chicken. Why am I having a 5-minute conversation on this podcast about how to cook chicken? This is ridiculous. But it's because I'm in the kitchen with him. That's... Do you get me? Please tell me I'm not alone. I don't want to be alone with this because if I am, this is going to make me sound really weird. Also, something that I absolutely love, because if anyone hasn't watched our podcast episode that we did, Charlie and I, he's a greenkeeper. So he works on a golf course. It is his job to maintain the beautifulness of the golf course, whether that is doing stuff to do with bunkers or greens or the fairways. I like to tease him and say that he's a glorified gardener, but that stays between you and me. Charlie, if you're listening, my darling, I didn't say that. But he will come home from work and he'll put his headphones in and I'll be like, what are you doing? He's like, going to cut the grass. I'm like, you are a man to my parents' heart. I love that he'll be in the kitchen, maybe making himself a tea or a coffee or whatever, and he'll just like unload the dishwasher and reload it. And also, this is something that cracks me up. When he first like unloaded the dishwasher without me or anything, the things that we would find in random ass places where they don't really tend to belong, oh my goodness, I was like, baby, thank you so much for unloading the dishwasher. I love you so much, but why is this in the frying pan drawer? And it's like a colander. That gives us all a little bit of laughter. That's always really fun whenever he puts things in random places. But I do just love it when like my parents are out and they'll come back and they'll be like, oh, Charlie, have you cut the grass? And he'll be like, yeah, Yeah, I did. Also, he'll come home with like random stuff like seeds and stuff for like patches in our garden that really need help with the grass growing. He'll come home and he'll be like, that piece of grass is gonna be normal in a month. And we'll be like, thank you? Like, what? He's a good... I love how I'm like, yeah, he's here. No, he's not. He's playing golf at home. I'm like, you are amazing. Like, it's the little things that you don't even really think about. Like, yeah, obviously the grass needs cutting. We have someone that is just like willing to cut the grass. Also, I feel like living together really has strengthened like our communication and just our relationship in general, because when you are with someone 24/7, you see every single emotion that person has to give. Learning how to deal with those situations as well. It's like the other night, I was just having a bad night. It was a bad night and I was just laying in bed crying, and he just knows what to do in that sort of situation now. He just like was cuddling me and reassuring me that everything was okay. It was just like learning how to deal with your partner's emotions is something that I feel like you don't truly figure out to the max until you're living together. Because it's quite easy. If one of us are just seeing each other for an evening, you very much suppress your feelings because you want to enjoy your time with that person. But actually, the more and more you get to know someone, the more time that you spend with them, it's easier for you to let out your emotions, if that makes sense. And I feel like we're definitely at that point now, which is really, really good. If one of us is in like a foul mood, i.e. me when I'm on my period, Charlie knows. He knows what to do. He knows how to deal with that. But also something that he said, because I always warn him, I'm like, Hurricane Maddie is about to hit, just an FYI. And he always says to me, he's like, when you're on your period, you are never moody with me, you're moody at the world and like the universe. I'm like, that is so valid, because I have nothing to be moody with him about. He's great. I literally, like, we don't argue. We don't bicker or anything like that. I don't have any, like, he doesn't frustrate me or annoy me. I don't have anything to be annoyed about. It'll just be like maybe a certain situation with work or something will happen and I'll just be like, oh, for fuck's sake. And like everything just annoys me, but like it's never him. Do you know what I mean? Also, I guess like the whole money thing. So I have been paying rent to my parents since I've had my full-time jobs, like 4 years, and Charlie, now that he's moved in, is also paying rent to my parents, so that also takes away some of the financial stress for like my parents, but also it's good for both of us because we're both paying rent every month. You get me? I always think it's good practice. Like, I know that a lot of parents maybe don't charge their kids to live at home. That's absolutely fine. If that's what your parents want to do, that's what they want to do. I'm not here to judge. I just feel like I personally, knowing that I earn money and he earns money, it just wouldn't feel right for us to be living here for free. Like, even if my parents said, no, it's fine, we don't want you to pay, just live here, like I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. But that's just me, because that's how I've grown up. And when I was 18, they said that, yeah, you're probably going to need to start paying rent. I was like, well, yeah, obviously, like, I'm earning money. Obviously, I'm going to pay rent. And also, it's like every time I get a pay rise or anything like that, I increase my rent by the percentage of pay rise that I got, if that makes sense. I just feel like that's a fair way to do it. And like seeing money come out of my account every month is, I know it's not like probably as much money as I'm going to be paying for rent when Charlie and I actually move out, or like bills or anything like that. It's not, it's just like a starting place, and like learning that you do need to budget and you do need to make sure that you have enough money to pay rent every month and setting that money aside if you need to. It's just, it's a learning curve, really, and I feel like it's a very, very necessary one. And also, I have always been that person that, like, even though I pay rent, like, if we go out for lunch or we go out for dinner, like, I will pay for my parents, or if we get a takeaway, like, I'll pay for it. I've just, you know, I can't just expect them to pay for everything. Like, my rent isn't going to cover everything, and treating them every once in a while is just me trying to give back to them for like everything that they have done for me for the last 22 years. So it's not like a lot, but it's something, and I want to make sure that I continue doing that. Also, I feel like there's like a real stereotype that once you've been with your partner for a certain amount of time, you need to move out and live on your own and have that test, or whatever people want to call it. But I feel like this is such a nice like in-between stage where we are living together, but we're also in my family home. It's somewhere that I've been for the last like 11, 12 years. It's all very comfortable. It's not like ours yet, and I feel like that is going to be the really fun part. But we wanted to do this. We wanted to have this test before we properly move out, and if this is the way that it's going to continue going, then we're going to have a great time. I can assure you that. If you are watching this and it is making you feel like you need to move in with your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your partner, it's not the case. Everyone moves at their own timelines, at their own speeds, and just because this felt right for me and Charlie doesn't mean that it's going to feel right for you and your partner. It just felt right for us because he's here all the time, obviously, like it just made sense in that way, but also like we just want to spend every single minute of every single day together because we are losers in love, and I'm not sad about it or mad about it at all. Some people might say that we've done this too fast. We have been together, as I'm recording this, 11 months tomorrow, I think. As you are listening to this, you'll probably be coming up to a year, which is insane. We say this all the time. It's like, how have we been together nearly a year? But yeah, some people might say that 11 months is too quick. That's fine. If you think that, that is totally fine, and that is valid if that is your experience with moving in with your partners. But we're loving it. We really, really are. It feels very normal, very right. We're just having a really, really great time. And I would love to know, like, if you are considering moving in with your partner or you have moved in with your partner, like how far along into your relationship were you? Were there any struggles that you faced or any difficult conversations that you had to have, any awkward or funny moments with family, parents, anything like that? Or did you just move into your own place straight away and you've rented or you bought a place? I would love to hear your experience. So please let me know. Either leave a comment down below, DM me on Instagram at Lowkey Adulting Pod. I'm always up for a chat. I love hearing people's experiences after I talk about my experience. But I basically just wanted this episode to be a bit of a life update, let you know where we're at. I definitely want to do another episode with Charlie soon. Everyone really seemed to enjoy that episode. So I had loads of lovely comments and feedback about it. So thank you so much if you enjoyed that one. If not, definitely go and listen to it. It was a really, really fun one to record as well because he's just so sweet. If you are new to this podcast and you are yet to subscribe, then make sure to do so. As I said, we come to you with episodes every single Monday at 8 a.m. to help you start your week off right. Definitely go and follow me over on Instagram and TikTok, both at Lowkey Adulting Pod. I think that I am going to wrap this episode up, but thank you so much for listening. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you have time, please leave a review or rating down below. It really, really does help. If you haven't already, definitely go and check out the Lowkey Adulting podcast YouTube channel because it's pretty fun over there. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you very soon with a brand new episode. Bye for now.